Good morning. And I do want to acknowledge all of you for being here. I mean, to me, it's Labor Day or not, it's the same kind of schedule. So, but some of you, that's not the case. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for inquiring, and Quincy, thank you for jumping in and doing this, because I was
My
like,
pleasure.
so here's the context. We have Olesya. Hello, darling. Can you show yourself up? Show your pretty face. Come on. So Olesya is my buddy
Hi
from.
everyone. So just a second, because I'm walking towards the car. Okay, so in a few minutes I'll turn my
Okay.
camera on. Okay, thank you so much.
So sorry, most of you know each other. There are a few members you don't know. Tira, for example, she's also from Georgia, like me, and she's an event leader in US. She did the program before you guys. Okay,
I
and
know Tess and
hey
Clarissa,
you.
of course.
And you'll meet each other here and there, right? And Olesya is my buddy from my program over in Europe. I've talked to all of you about her, so you kind of, at some point you've heard about her. So Olesya and I have been basically meeting weekly since our program, being buddies, doing a lot of programs, different things, structures, supporting each other. And that is exactly how we, when I got to meet Quincy and he talked about 75 Hard, I was like, oh, let's do it. So we did the first time last winter, and it was incredible. Oh my God. And if not the buddyship, if not the partnership, I wouldn't have finished, I wouldn't have done it, and neither would Olesya. And now, as we supported each other through the journey, that's when the idea of creating the group came up. And boys, you don't know this, but Olesya and I have a group. Now we all have a group for women empowering each other, supporting and empowering each other. Now, let me be straight. This is not a landmark group. We are not doing, sometimes we can't help it because we speak the language, but there's a lot of people in there who are not graduates. And, but it is really just supporting, creating structures, meeting twice a month, etc. Okay, so as a result of that group, in one of the meetings, we decided that we wanted to do this again. And there were a few more who joined. And now it has been 2 weeks or more. And I can say probably the only person who is at the 2-week count is Olesya, because she is that strong. And we have fallen, all of us, off the track, and there has been all sorts of breakdowns with 75 Hard. And as Pia said, I remember she said, I'm done. What was it? Failing or yeah, she was like, I'm
done starting over.
yeah. So I was like, okay, if anyone could really give us an idea, inspire, also like coming from where you are, Quincy, because you've done more than 75 Hard at the first phase, kind of share. And if you don't mind, Quincy, I'm coming directly to you. If you don't mind, just briefly saying who you are so that, those people who don't know you, and then just kind of share your journey with it, so that, and then we can, go from there.
Most definitely. It's a privilege to be here. I see so many faces that I know. It's good to see you guys again in these boxes digitally. So a little bit about me, and it helps some of my background with regard to 75 Hard and how I process it. So I'm Quincy Springs. I own a Chick-fil-A here in Atlanta, Georgia. Done it now for about 7 years. Will have been doing it. That's proper grammar. For 7 years in January. Before that, I ran Walmart stores for about 7 years. I was in the Army for 8 years. I'm from Virginia, and I've been in Atlanta for the past 15, 16 years. I heard about 75 Hard years ago, and I thought it was crazy, and I didn't see how in my lifestyle it could work. I happened to be at the gym one day, and my wife and her friend happened to mention 75 Hard as I walked by, and something just said, yep, I'm doing it. So is that where you want me to get into it, Irma? So the way my mind works is, and again, I know this is not landmark, but I had to find out my winning formula. So I said, I'm going to do 75 hard on this date, whatever date that was. But I'm going to do it for 2 weeks where it doesn't count. So I'm officially do it on this date. And I always worked out, but I would always have like 2 or 3 days that I didn't. And so what I discovered is when I did my trial, if I missed something, I could be like, oh, I can make this adjustment now. And this is what this feels like. So when I actually did it, I was like, okay, that makes sense. So for instance, I didn't work out on Sundays at all before. When I did my trial period for about 2 weeks, I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to get up at this hour on Sunday and now have to do, quote unquote, have to do 2 workouts. So that was one thing. And then I would just randomly just talk about what I did and then talk about some of the approaches. Another thing, I just broke things down by systems, right? And I said, okay, it's 128 ounces of water for a gallon. The typical water bottle, I don't have one here, is 16.9 ounces. So that's 7 bottles of water a day. So I said, okay, I know when you wake up, you should drink one. That helps with regards to flow and everything moving, right? So that's one. Then on the way to, and I get up at 5:30. That's another thing. So getting up really early helps this out. So one early in the morning when I wake up, another one on the way to the gym. Right. While I'm at the gym, I'm not necessarily drinking, but I may. But after the gym, that's another one. That's 3. If you choose to eat breakfast or breakfast time, that's 4. So before 9 o'clock or so, you've already got 4 of your total 7 or 8 bottles in. Then at lunch, there's 5. If you choose to drink another one in the afternoon, there's 6. Another one at dinner, that's 7. You're done. And then basically 8 before you go to bed. So I broke down those bottles of water. I'm not carrying a big gallon of water everywhere, and I'm not trying to figure it out. And there's already pronounced times that I can drink my water in because those are, easily identifiable times. So that's water, right? I'm not sure what your morning rituals are, but in the morning, I read my 10 pages in the morning as I was preparing for going to the gym. So there's that. So my book is done in the morning. My water is taken care of. Okay, we're nude at least twice a day, right? And so there's my progress picture. So I either took it before I went to the gym, right after I went to the gym. So my progress picture is done in the morning, right? And so you now have your pages done, your progress pictures done in the morning. And then follow the diet. So following the diet is like I followed a program called E2M. You can find it on Facebook. It's called Ear to Motivate. And it's basically no bread, no sugar, just meat and vegetables. And that's all I ate. And because I drank so much water, I wasn't tempted to drink Coke or Pepsi or Sprite or whatever. I just drink water the entire time. What's the last thing? I think that's it, right? Those
Exercise twice a day.
Oh, twice a day. Thank you.
Do you mind explaining? So, like, I Googled it, right? I'd never heard of it before, and I Googled it.
Me either, Alex.
Yeah.
She just told me about it the other day.
So, do you mind, like, is it exactly what you say, like twice a day working out, drinking the water, reading a book? What else today? And eating a diet that you choose to follow. Is that it?
That's it. And then take a progress picture every day.
Oh yeah, in the picture.
Yeah. So, and then, I took for granted the working out. So I do it in the morning regardless. So that's that. Right. And then my wife was doing it with me. And for the first 3 or 4 weeks, I was doing these really heavy workouts. Right. And it's just like, I'm not doing a walk. That's silly. Right. But after 3 or 4 weeks of doing like heavy workouts 2 times a day, I was like, you know what? My second workout is a walk. Right. And I average about 2.5 miles, 2.5 miles or so in 45 minutes. And so walking outside is a perfect way to do that. And I typically did that maybe after dinner in the afternoon. But I created a structure around it. And a lot of times, based on my schedule, I was done by noon. I had all of my things finished by noon. My 2 workouts were finished by noon. My pages were done by noon. Water was done by noon.
I kind of hate you for a little bit, and honestly, you're like this, and I kind of hate you too, because I know that she's doing exactly that. Yes, thank you for sharing. All I'm hearing, Quincy, is structure, 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 just breaking down everything and just being really mental about when you're going to do what and not leaving any of it to chance.
Right. Do it all in the morning if you can. So I'm not expecting everyone to get up at 5:30 if that's not your jam, but also getting up really early in the morning makes so much more available to you. Like with regard to your day, you just feel like you accomplish more and you're ahead and you're not behind. And then there was times I hated it, right? And because many of us know about Landmark, one of my friends told me this, and I live by this or try to every day. She said, Quincy, this is just your lifestyle today. I just want to marinate on that for a minute, right? We all know the ones who've been in Landmark. Yesterday, the past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. It's just right now. And I was on this really heavy vitamin regimen where I was taking like 8 different pills, and I was in my cupboard getting that stuff out. And I was like, I hate this. I hate doing it. So it's yesterday I did it. Tomorrow I got to do it. And then I said, wait a minute. It's just today. This is just your lifestyle today. Just do it really well today. And that helped me out tremendously. And then I asked myself, well, what would you be doing instead? Instead of that afternoon walk outside, what would you be doing instead? Watching the Family Guy? Like, what are you doing instead?
And Quincy, thank you for sharing that. And I kind of want to ask you to share what's next as well. So there is, because there's more. And the more part, I haven't even, you've shared with me, and I remember parts of it, but so far 75 is here in our face, right? I mean,
Right.
we gotta get that one, live by that one. But there is more to it. So wanna share that?
Yes, I do. There's more, even to more. So what became available also is I rediscovered Landmark as a result of 75 Hard. So in the books that I read, I probably read about 7 or 8 pages. In one of the books, the author said that the Landmark Forum changed his life. Then I remembered, I was like, oh, I registered for that back in 2017. So I had forgotten about Landmark altogether until I did 75 Hard. And then that's what made available. The other thing is, and I'm going to tell you about more, I said, you know what? I'm going to pick a topic and I'm going to master that topic, or at least read as much as I can during 75 Hard. So, financial acumen is one of the things that I decided to read. So I've read like The Wealth Choice. I read Killing Sacred Cows. What is his name? Tony Robbins has some financial books. So it was really cool to say, I'm going to focus on a particular set of subject and just read everything I can during 75 days to be an expert in that thing. And it was really cool. Things became available from that with regard to how I look at money. So it was really cool to be like, okay, this is my focal thing. So what became available is, I said, okay, let's see how valuable this thing is. So then phase 1 came. And then phase 1 is including a cold shower, a 30-minute cold shower, right? I mean, a 5-minute cold shower.
Okay.
5 minutes, not 35. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But you go, after you do 75 Hard, it's 30 days before you do the next phase, or you can do it right away. Same thing with the cold shower. I was like, I'm not going to just jump into that. And so I watched some of his podcasts, and what he said is you can actually start with a hot shower and then turn it to cold, right? So before I officially started to do that, I would take my showers and then slowly ease it over before it counted, just so I knew what it felt like. So that when I really did the actual 30 days of 5-minute cold showers, right, I could say I could actually do this because I know what it feels like. So I eased myself into that too. And what I discovered for the showers is you can't rush a 5-minute cold shower. And what became available too is like you become your priority. What you say for yourself becomes the priority. And so if I had a workout or I had something to do in the evening, I would leave work to go do my second workout. Or I would make sure that I read my book. Because you think about it, I don't know, we all have like, let's say we have 50 things we want to do today, right? And sometimes we do 45 of them, but sacrifice the 5 that are for us. For 75 hard, those 5 things or 6 things, we knew we did them, or at least I did them, or we do them for ourselves. And if we miss something else, that's something else that gets missed. It's not what we said we were going to do for ourselves. So that was really cool. Phase 1 is the main thing is the cold shower, and then a random act of kindness, I think, and talking to a stranger, I think.
Hey, can I just jump in? Quick question, Quincy.
Yes, sir.
So I'm confused with like phase 1 and then follow-ups, right? And so as I read it online. It's 75 days straight of those 5 things.
Correct.
When you start saying phase 1, is that phase 1? And then you add the cold shower, the kind, or do you start integrating these things within the 75 days, or do you do them after the 75 days?
Thank you. I'm glad you helped me to be clear on that. So the 75 days are those 5 tasks. That's it for 75 days. There's a whole program called the Live Hard program, right? You can do the 75 days and be done, or you can do what's called the Live Hard program, which lasts a year. The Live Hard program has 3 additional phases. So after 75 hard, you can wait for 30 days, or you can go straight into what's called phase 1. I can't remember everything with phase 1, but phase 1 adds everything that you did plus a 5-minute cold shower, and I think a random act of kindness and talking to a stranger. I can't remember. So you do that for 30 days, phase 1. Then you wait for 30 days, and then you do phase 2. Then you wait for 30 days, and you do phase 3. Phase 3 completes the entire Live Hard program. And you end that on the anniversary of your first day of 75 hard. So I started 75 hard on January 1st. I ended phase 3 on December 31st.
Got it. Thanks.
And Irma said, what's next? Now, in October, November, I think at the turn of the year, I'm going to do a fitness competition.
Fitness competition.
Mm-hmm. This is basically like bodybuilding. So when you shred your body all the way down and have 0 fat, there's a whole regimen for that.
Okay, you're just looking for challenges, right?
Yes.
You need to occupy yourself.
Yes.
Okay, you want to tell us about? I mean, I believe now that might be my story, but you were living healthy before, so you want to tell us and share how is your health? Like, what benefits did you get out of that? With yourself, of course, but then also out there, what showed up? You talk about the random act of kindness. You talk about the, what was it? Talking to a stranger?
Talking to a stranger.
Yeah, I mean, those things. It seems easy enough, but then, for some of us who are not in Chick-fil-A, for example, because, you have strangers coming in there every day. I mean, that might be a challenge, right? But that's a challenge. We can find it. Of course, it's very easy. Now, what does that create?
Part of the health part of it is, for my particular diet, when you cut out sugar and you cut out bread, like your system just runs so much more efficiently. You feel lighter. I don't know about other people's experience, but I wasn't bloated at all. I wasn't hungry at all. I wasn't tired at all. Like, I had plenty of energy. I was really alert. I was really clear. Because of all the water, my skin like had this orange glow. It's just like it radiated. And also my taste buds changed. I didn't really want those other things as much anymore, right? And it was really cool to experience that from a physical standpoint, right? And then the physical changes in your body, like I was pretty ripped by the time 75 Hard was done. And so it felt really good in that respect. Talking to strangers and doing random acts of kindness, people don't expect that, period. And so they're kind of taken aback when you do things, but it's so gratifying when in this world that we live in, when those types of things don't happen, when people have someone experience an act of care or even being able to converse with them.
Love it. Thank you. All right, everyone, time to ask questions, share. I mean, those of you who started, restarted, 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 might be the time to time to actually share and see, what you can kind of get out of this. And what you can see that you can also put in structure, like, that's another thing. I for myself, I can share that the whole part of being done in the morning, like first half of the day, definitely would, and that's most of the time how it worked first time. And I see that I have not been doing this time, and this is what created a burden. I have to do it, and then it's no joy in it. And I see that that's what I see in Olesya. Olesya is done. Most of the time, most of the things that she does is done in the morning, and she's energized by it. She's not like, oh, I have to do it. So that's something that I see as a structure. And for me, and I've been saying this, and I'm out to do this today, is creating, putting myself into some sort of a one workout that's going to be outside, not outside space, but in a gym, in a yoga place, wherever it is, but not me alone, because I don't do well. So what about you?
Remember, I forgot one other thing. It made me very planful because in that 75 days, I took trips. I went everywhere. And so if I knew I had a flight at 8 o'clock, I was actually up at 4:30 doing my first workout.
Yeah.
Right. I made it a priority. And there were some times where the day got away from me and I did my last workout at 10:30 at night. Right.
Because you're crazy. Because you're totally crazy.
It reminded me at some point, I think Olesya was traveling, and she's like, I don't know, I'm spending the whole day at the airport. And then it was so funny. She calls me, she's like, guess what I'm doing? I'm running in the airport. So she was just running from one gate to another, just getting her workout. So yeah.
Okay, I have questions.
Okay, yeah, let's go for it.
What's coming up is that, like, there's aspects I'm on it. Like, I'll do it. I take the challenge, but there's aspects for me that are harder than the others, right? And so I'm assuming it's not a pick and choose kind of like, oh, I can do one and I can do three, but I don't want to do two. But like, also then what I heard Irma say is like, you kind of made it work for you. And so like when I read the rules, it said like 2 workouts, 45 minutes each, one has to be outside. Well, your interpretation of outside is like a public space. It doesn't have to be outside. It can be like.
No, Alex, no, not at all. No,
Okay.
My second outside workout generally is walk, or fast walk rather.
It could be a porch as well if you want to do, for example, yoga, let's say.
No, it's just for the inside workout that I need the outside place.
Oh, got it.
Can they both be outside, or does that matter?
Yeah, they can both be outside.
It's just one has to be outside. That's the parameters. All right. Thank you.
And also the book helps too. I don't know. There's a 75-part book that he has that I read before I started too.
Okay. So we need to order stuff too for this. So then
have to.
No, that's okay. I'm kidding. I'm kidding when I said that. So then the other thing is that, like, again, the no alcohol. I'm okay with no alcohol for 75 days generally, but like I don't drink, and so am I breaking the rule? I have to start over again if I have a one glass of red wine? Okay, but my ancestors think that red wine is good. It is good, right? And
It
I don't
is good.
drink hard alcohol. I mean, do I? Yes, very, very, very infrequently, but I can do it for 75 days, but beyond that, I can't not have no alcohol. So I'm just like fessing up to what is my hardest part.
Oh, Alex, let me just tell you this. Once you are all the way through 75, somehow you don't feel like I have not had alcohol for a year. I tried once.
Oh, I've done like 6 months with no alcohol, and I felt amazing. I did it last year, but I also don't like, if I want to have a glass of wine, I'm going to have one glass of wine. But like, this is telling me that I can't have a glass of wine.
No. And no deriving from your whatever diet you choose as well.
Right.
No one piece of chocolate or whatever.
I'll just be really creative with the diet that I pick.
I'm sure you will.
Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Clarissa?
Quincy, thank you for being here with us.
Pleasure.
Okay, my question is, what was your support? Like, I get the systems and structures, and on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I'm done by 1 p.m. because my boxing class is at noon on Wednesday or Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and they don't have it the other days. So like I'm set by 1 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I'm also, it's the other days I'm having issues with, and I'm setting structures for those. And I'm getting them. And I'm wondering for the waking up at 4, so I'm trying to wake up at 4:45 because I want to do my morning ritual between 5 and 6. Honestly, I've been trying to do it for 5 years, like the morning. And I've read the 5 a.m. Club. I've read other things. Like, what is your like internal motivation for, is it like you had to engage enough in what was going on in your life? Or like, what was like the mental model that helped you be like, okay, like I can wake up at 4:45? Because this morning I was like, I'm going to practice waking up at 6 today. And I had a long drive back yesterday from San Antonio, and that was my excuse. And I was like, oh, I'm going to rest a little more. And it, now my whole day is running late. So I'm just wondering, is it from like the military when you're like, yeah, 4:30 is not early because you had that model already set and the automaticity somewhere in you already, and help.
Yeah, so part of that is true. So I try to preface, my abilities to do 75 hard from just the lifestyle that I had and the mindset that I had before that. But truth be told, Clarissa, I hate waking up early in the morning. I hate it. I hated it in the military, and I hated it now. And I don't know if this is enough for you, but I also hated the feeling that you mentioned that you already felt behind. Like, if I got up and got my day started at 8 o'clock, I am angry because I feel like I'm behind. And so what I've done is, with regard to that, is even today I was like, man, I need to. So I didn't get up as early as I usually do this morning. And I'm like, man, my whole day is off already as a result of that. Now, part of that is a story, but that's how I function. So I've already made decisions this morning, what time I'm going to go to bed, to make sure that I'm up, to make sure that I achieve what I want to achieve. So Clarissa, I think the main thing is that feeling that I really do not like is like feeling like I'm behind. Mm-hmm. And because my days have so much structure, it's almost like it's more work now to do everything that I need to do. Like, I have to work harder, and I don't like it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. That helps. Thank you.
And then
I was like,
for your workout, like, if like I kind of tricked myself, if boxing is the thing that you do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then make yourself do a thing Tuesday, Thursday, whatever that thing is, and be like, yep, same time I'm doing whatever that thing is. And that helps.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
I think structures are the biggest thing about it. Like, as much as you can put into like to be automated, it just helps the whole process. And then the grind comes when you have those special occasions. That's when the work comes. It's when, oh, I have a flight here, or oh, I have this happening in the afternoon. So then you put more mental work on those days. But for the most part, if you could just say, I do this, right? It just becomes automatic.
Okay.
And then after
Thank
the
you.
fact, it's my pleasure. After the fact, I work out every day now. And it depends on what you listen to. So I listen to a bunch of stuff like motivational and encouraging and la la la. And so one guy named Jocko Willink, I think his last name is Jocko Willink. He's the Navy SEAL that wrote Extreme Ownership. He says, I don't take any days off. He says, life gives me my days off. So he doesn't plan to take any days off. But like if he has something with the kids that day, he may miss his workout that day because he's got that thing with the kids, but he doesn't have any days planned. So it's 7 days a week. And for the most part, I work out 7 days a week, even when I'm on vacation. So in fact, on my way to Paris tomorrow, funny enough, and Rachel and I, my wife and I, will work out every day while we're in Paris.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Tess,
Yeah.
did you have a question or is that an automatic hand?
I put my hand up.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Clarissa, there's this book called Miracle Morning. I don't know if any of y'all read it. It's very awesome. Very, very awesome. It's I can't say that I was 100% following it, but the idea this guy researched a whole bunch of mindset things and saw that there's 5 things that successful people have in common. They exercise every day, they journal, they have time to read,
Mhm.
and then there's visualization, and I'm missing one. So
Ooh.
what's the other one? It's 5. It's exercise, mindfulness. Anyway, there's 5. I'll drop it in the chat whenever I
Thank you.
decide what the 5th one is. But it's really great because it actually says in there that, what do you do if you're a mom that has to take their kids to something in the morning, or your mornings just don't work for you? And it gives you guidelines for doing it in a different way. It's kind of like the idea of, this is your thing to do today. Don't beat yourself up if it can't be done in the morning time.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And it's kind of like, your miracle morning could be miracle afternoon morning, or miracle evening morning, or something like that. Also the alcohol thing, I'm going to say, y'all, I don't know about this, but my breakthrough is going to be doing everything else. And maybe I do 75 hard test way. Just going to say that out loud.
But what would become available to you if you could? Now, Tess, I was in the Army for quite some time.
Honey, it's great. I appreciate your motivation. But for me, to just get my ass to do some exercise twice a day is the miracle.
Right.
On a consistent basis. So if I want to have a fucking beer every once in a while, then I'm gonna have a fucking beer. I'm just gonna say right now.
I got you. And hey, I'm down with all that. And I ask you to ask yourself, whenever you should choose, like, what would happen if you didn't have the beer?
Oh, I've already not had the beer. I'm just saying that I got to give myself something here.
You do?
I do.
I mean, I get it. I absolutely get it. But what's really cool, Tess, is that when I do my fitness competition, it's like 5 months or 15 weeks. And I'm going to incorporate some of that 75 hard stuff in that. And I think I'm going to make, so you mentioned Miracle Morning. You said 5 a.m. Club, Clarissa.
Yeah.
What else did you say? What was the other one you read, Clarissa?
I think that was it on the mornings.
Yeah.
Oh, it's meditation. That's what it is. It's exercise, meditation, visualization.
Oh,
Crap,
Can
I
we
missed it
start?
again.
Can we start a WhatsApp and write these things down? I mean, I am taking some notes, but like any ideas, it'd be good to share them. I had a question, but I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead. Sorry, Tess.
I think she's
I
right.
know. Is there a chat? Here? How do I do the chat on my phone?
I'll take care of all of that.
Okay.
I just need the consent. I need to ask all the members that the men can be allowed in the women group.
There are special men. That's fine. There are mascots. There are mascots. It's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Yes, Tira?
Yes. Can I go ahead? One quick question regarding, thank you, Quincy, for your shares. It's really motivated me. And what about your intention? What did you create before the 75 hard and the context?
I think I take what you're saying for granted with regards to my intention. How do you say your name?
Sira.
Sira. So part of that is what I mentioned in the beginning. So part of my training in the Army was a U.S. Army Ranger. And when I was in Ranger school, I had to recycle several times. Extremely difficult. And when I was in the recycle phase, there was this thing that said, not for the weak or the faint-hearted, right? So it was saying basically Ranger school is not for the weak or the faint-hearted. And there was another part of it and another law. There's these logs, these sayings that says, when the will is strong, everything is easy. And so I had that kind of playing in my background and had already gone through Ranger school in my background. And part of me is, as I've gotten older, right, I kind of want to, there's this idea like, LeBron James is still at the peak of his game and he's fighting Father Time. And it's almost like defying Father Time in a sense, right? Just because we get older doesn't mean that we have to fall apart. So there's a bunch of things with regards to that, but it's almost like an act of defiance. If I were to be able to really sum it up, to say, I'm going to do this regardless of what my circumstances are and achieve what I set out to achieve.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I had my hand up partly as a follow-up to what Tess was saying or asking. Like, I did the no alcohol for 6 months, and it's a compounding effect for everything done, what you're talking about, right? Like, the body, once it gets rid of that alcohol, it makes a huge difference in your ability to sleep and your ability to work out and the mental clarity. It's just, so give it a try, whoever has concerns with that. But the actual question that I had was, it sounds like you guys have started this already, or Quincy, you've done this a long time ago and continue to do it. How do you support each other? What is it that like you or we as an individual can trip up on, right? Which I guess we kind of know it's keeping to those 5 things. But how do you guys, how have you found that you support each other that actually helps the practice of this? And so like we will each create our own structures, and I heard your structures, which are very helpful.
I don't know, Quincy, you can share. For me, what really worked, it really worked when Alessia and I were doing it, because we were on a lifeline, basically. Morning, sending each other voicemails, evening, not going to sleep without it, like celebrating every day as a win. It was not like, really just, and what also the difference, because we tried in the group now, right? And I see the difference, and we should not be really coming from the past and comparing, but I'm looking at what's missing, what worked. And the other thing that worked, that the 75 hard, the first time when we did it, was not just those 5 things. It's everything that comes up in who you are being while you're doing those 5 things. And so being able to share that, the struggles, emotional, the mental, definitely, and just doing that on the go. We didn't have to, sometimes it'd be like, okay, this is a long message, so you don't have to listen to it, but I have to, I need to send it to you, right? But being able to share openly, vulnerably, all the things that come up during the day, because things do show up, things do come up, and the internal struggles are it's like a tight thing, you know. So for me, what I can see is that is something that really worked, and that is something that, you know, with this try is not working as much, because we do share, but we share when it's almost like convenient. We share like it's almost like a check, but it's not really living with it, you know, like being it, you know, being part of this and just sharing that way. So I can say that that would be one of the ways that I would see that would be, you know, helpful. I mean, again, the structures are to be defined, you know, for support. You know, what works? Is it that we create a big group and we buddy up with people in it? You know, is it that we all are buddies? I mean, I don't know, but it's up to us to define and try and see, you know, give it a try for 5 days and see how that works, or give it a try, but definitely like molding it together will most likely, you know, I don't know that there's a recipe. Chrissy, what do you have to say about that?
I tell you, one of the things is, again, my wife happened to do it with me. And it was helpful because we did some of it together. The app helps out tremendously. So if you get the 75 Hard app itself, so you're not having to track all this yourself, it's a small charge. I can't remember what it is, right? But that helps, and you put notifications and alerts in the app that helps you with that. I didn't use any of those, again, because it was just my own system. And I'm not able to really describe the buddy system so much, or the support, Irma, other than you feel so alive. Like I felt really alive getting up. There's times I've gotten up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and it's January, and even in Atlanta, it's cold here. It's below 30 degrees, and you're walking, and you look up, and there's a stillness, and the sky is clear, and you can see the stars, and you're frustrated and angry because you're up so early, and your fingers are frozen, and your legs are moving, and you start to sweat. And then at the end of it, after your hands are frozen, what have you, you feel so accomplished and you feel so alive. And you walk in it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, people are just getting their day started, and you've already done so much. I mean, it's just that it's a high that I can't describe, and it's a sense of accomplishment I can't describe. So that in and of itself was a fuel for me to keep me going. And then you transition to when it's hot, and then you experience all the other things when it's hot outside, the opposite, or when it's raining and you're soaking wet and you're working out. It's an amazing thing.
Amazing. I don't know. I remember in Chicago, it was below, I don't know what. We had blizzards. And I'm like,
Yeah.
going outside. Yeah.
Yep.
But you do feel accomplished for sure. And that's true. The best things I remember from winter are my night walks. Like I'd finish teaching, I'd come home at 10 p.m. and everybody's asleep, right? And I'm like, oh, I have to go out.
Yep.
Right. But I would put the music on or some podcast, and then you're alone with this. And it's just incredible feeling for sure. So that just brought something, there could be a structure where, those of us who do the walk, we could just say, okay, 7 a.m. every morning we do the walk, and we just get connected on some app and just do it. That could be fun, right? And share whatever is coming up. That's another way to do it. So I think there's, we're all creative people here, so there's many ways to create it. The thing that's missing is integrity, integrity and commitment to really saying, this is what I'm doing, and there is no way around it. That's it. There is no starting over. There is no, second chance. This is it. I won't fail this.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's not about making yourself wrong after, but really just what resonated with me is saying, these are the 5 things that I'm going to do for myself. That's it, right? And everything else going to move around that.
Mm-hmm. And they move. Everything, you'll find that things move around. And I think you guys see that even with your accomplishment for those who did LTP. Like at first, there might have been some friction, but then after a while, people are like, okay, well, this is what you do. And people adjusted to it.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else wants to share, ask questions? Now is the time.
I have a question for the 75 hard, Irma. Are we gonna have a what do you call it when you like fail so many times that you're not allowed to stay in? I think it would be.
Do you want an external motivation to be kicked
I
out
think we might
for your job?
I'm trying to encourage commitment. And I know for me, what I'm seeing, and Alessia, thank you for asking, was that I give myself permission to fail if other people are failing. And that's a me thing. I know that. So I don't know. I'm trying to come up with another system that's like, okay, don't just let yourself off the hook because like, oh, I want to be part of the group or, whatever's happening.
That is great what you just shared, because that might be something we should all look into and share. Because if I know that you have that, Clarissa, then I'll hold you accountable in a different way, right?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that there's going to be another meeting of those who decide to jump. First of all, whoever is on this meeting, let's see, who do I have? I don't see all of you. Now, is there anyone who is not wanting to start?
Literally, we're gonna call you out because you're staring at us. Someone's like accidentally lost their internet connection right now, Irma.
All right. So are we in? I mean, we're in, but
And we're all in. I'm gonna use like the LTP phrase. We're not doing the LT me. We're doing the LTP in this case, right? We're not doing the 75 hard me. We're doing the 75 hard.
right.
We
And yeah, and sharing the books, reading the same type of, it's not type, but same books even, like that, any sort of connection that we create during this time where we're in the same boat, literally here now we're in the same boat. So to ensure, discuss, that just is gonna make the game more fun, where we're not alone. I'm not reading the book by myself. I can actually talk to Pia about it because she's reading it too. So that kind of thing. So we should look into that as well.
This is a good book too. Y'all went and got it. It's
Yeah.
called Atomic Habits.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put them all in the what's up. And then Quincy, I heard you say kind of like not a trial period, but a period where like we officially say we're going to start that date. And then sounds like you did 2 weeks. Like, is everyone okay starting off with 1 week? I mean, I'm happy to start it today, but I'm going to find things out about myself. And instead of calling it out that like I keep restarting, I'm not going to restart. I'm going to start doing it. But I guess this isn't a question. This is more like, can we start with a week of adjustment? No, I'm going to cheat. I'm not going to cheat. Or do you not think that that's necessary? I guess I'm looking for advice here.
I'll tell you, one of the things is, my wife did it. My wife did it before me, like in the holiday period, and we were invited to this really cool event, and and she broke after like 4 days, right? And I don't think, I think for me, I could do it tomorrow, right? No problem. I lie. It would be harder to do it because if I just started just right away, and I don't give myself an opportunity for me to, oh, this is what this feels like. Maybe let me prepare for this adjustment and what have you, right? And so I happen to be an advocate of, like, for me, a trial period to say, okay, oh, well, this is what this feels like on a Sunday, right? Now, there's something to be said to say, oh, we're doing it tomorrow, for you to discover what it feels like on a Sunday and still be in the program and do it regardless. There's something to be said for that too. But for me, I wanted to make sure that I set myself up for success for something that was going to happen for 75 days anyway.
I'm with you.
All right. Any other questions? Sharing anything? We have 7 minutes left.
So practically, are we starting today? Are we starting in a week? Are we starting in you see me, I'm very like,
I know you need clarity. I kind of want to tease you now, but
tease me. I don't care. We all know each other well. So
so Alessia has started. She's on week 3, I think. However, we can decide as a group to start at a given date, right? And
I'm starting tomorrow. That's my declaration.
I mean, I don't see for me, I don't see a reason to. Again, I'm different. Maybe I don't know. If you guys don't have a problem starting, just let's start, and that's it. There is,
Did you map out the 75 days already? Did you count it out and see when you actually ended?
No.
You didn't do that? Oh, my bad. So that's what I did too. I counted out from tomorrow 75 days, so I knew exactly when it ended. And there was some emotional things that happened along the way. It was like, oh, well, this party's happening that day, or this holiday is happening that day, or this trip is happening that day. So it might be helpful to identify what 75 days are and go ahead and get yourself emotionally prepared for those things that you're going to have to say no to or not do.
So you're going to France and you're not having cheese or bread. You're stupid,
No.
Quincy.
No. I didn't say I was starting. I'm here to provide perspective. I'm going to do all that. But
sorry,
I did 75 hard during my last phase was in December, right? So December 1st through 31st. So all those cakes, all those pies, all those cookies, all those desserts, all that alcohol, none. That entire month of December. So when you do it, count out those days and know when your days are ending, so you kind of know, okay, I want to miss
we better start now because we don't, Christmas is afterwards.
Let's start today.
Let's see, hold on.
Thanksgiving happens 30, after 75 days.
Oh, so you're coming close to Thanksgiving. Like I just did a quick look. If you started today or tomorrow, you'll be ending it right near Thanksgiving. Yeah. But no, that
also
means
today,
Easter,
today is a new moon. So
Halloween.
Hold on. So I want to say before I forget, today is a new moon. So this is the perfect time to actually start a new thing.
Yes, I wanted
like a project.
to say the same. Yes.
So that means no
and
Halloween.
Alessia, I'm sure, knows better about this stuff.
No Halloween candy. Okay, we can survive that.
So you could go dress up and go do your thing, but no Halloween candy. Starting within 75 days.
So I'm sorry, I actually missed some part of the meeting, but if we start tomorrow, so we're supposed to wake up really early in the morning. And then can you just kind of clarify what are we supposed to do tomorrow? I mean, I understand no sugar, no bread,
well, it depends
exercise. Yeah. I just ordered the book, so, it's obviously going to take some time to read the book. But yeah, so
Tanya, first of all, you define what is it that the diet that you're gonna do. So it's not, Alyssa and I started paleo, and that's how I discovered for the first time in my life, I felt no pain. I was like, whoa, like it's incredible. That paleo thing, 75 days of it made me discover really the things that work for my body and the things that don't. Very incredible. So and then as you said, Quincy, everything changed, your palate changed. You don't even feel it. I look at the cake, I'm like, okay, I don't really care about it anymore. So there is that. So you say what it is that you're gonna do and eat, and then just stick by it. But you declare it. In the group, you just say, okay, this is what I'm doing.
My bigger part is really exercise. That's my problem. So yeah. So what do we do with that?
So you have to do 45 minutes inside and 45 minutes outside.
Okay. Does it have to be aerobic, or it can be just
whatever it is that what you choose. I mean, you
okay.
want to have a breakthrough in what. If you don't work out at all, it's going to be already a breakthrough to do it, right? So it's, for me, as I shared earlier, for me, outside is walking. I just walk 45 minutes. I just walk fast.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be necessarily certain intensity or anything like that, no?
No. And your body will tell you what you want to do afterwards as you get used to it.
Okay. So there is no like that we are so we just listen to our body. We are not like, I mean, Kinsey, if you were military, obviously you guys had a pretty intense schedule. And you were supposed to do so much and in so much time and all of that stuff. So that's kind of pretty open schedule for us. I'm not sure, like, because it's hard to push yourself. Like, I mean, I think, and it's like, if you really want to get through, you need to go for some jumps, So, I mean, it's like, it's some effort, that's why I'm like, looking for guidance. I guess the book is going to give more information about that.
Mike, Tanya, you can do yoga. Whatever. I'm actually gonna go, I think, for yoga to start with, right? And then if you feel like you're ready for something more, you can do that. It's totally up to you. It's just that you decide and you say what it is that you're gonna do, so that then we can hold you accountable. To
Yeah.
So 10 pages a day. Water. Diet, whatever it is that you say that you're gonna eat, workouts, and what was it?
Photo.
Oh my God, a photo. I had to restart because of the photo, because we think, oh, I did everything, and photo is nothing, right?
Okay.
And you restart because you think that photo is just a nothing thing.
Okay, and 10 pages, is that 10 pages of a certain book, or what? 10 pages of what kind of book?
Not the literature, but something that's gonna help you.
Motivational. Okay. Thank you so much. I apologize for kind of being, asking to repeat probably what was already done.
No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else? Listen, we're at 9 a.m. I want to thank all of you. This is super exciting. Quincy, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
And we'll be knocking on your door. Just know that.
Come on, I'm here.
Thank you.
And have a great flight and trip.
Yes,
and yeah, I'll see you all in the group on WhatsApp.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Bye.